Hi there to one and all present over here and watching this video. Thanks for supporting me for the first video that I actually made for you people on how to install Eclipse. Fine. And actually I wanted to install only Eclipse, but by default I thought of let me install Android Eclipse along with everything. So the problem was that I couldn't download the entire Android SDK, and without Android SDK it's not possible for me to show it to you the entire process of how the Android works on Ubuntu. Fine, you can say Ubuntu or Ubuntu, whatever you like it, but today we are going to learn about the same thing that we actually stopped once. Fine, let's start with today's work. First of all, where I left was in the last time was this thing. Fine, I actually installed the entire thing on Ubuntu, but the problem was that I didn't created any environment variables. Fine, why create environment variables for Eclipse? But actually here I'm not going to show it to you for the Eclipse, but I am going to show you the environment variables for Android SDK. Fine. So you need to type this command gedit etc environment variables, and here you go. Enter the password. Okay, so I have already done the same for testing purpose. Let me explain it to you. You can pause it and also correct it at your own level. Fine. I have added three things, that is path variable, the another one is this home variable, and Android SDK variable, Android SDK home variable. Why I have added these three different types is because some of the OSs in Linux might support Android home, some of them might support Android SDK, and some of the Linux OS might support Android SDK underscore home. So in three of them I just added it in all way. Fine. How I did it, this things is very simple. Going to files menu. After going to files menu, just a second, I'm going to show it to you people. Okay, after going to files menu, clicking on computer. After clicking on computer, you can see OPT over here. In OPT you can see Android SDK. After SDK I'm pressing it Control L, Control C, and what I did was Android underscore home equal to and Control V. Fine. The same goes for Android SDK and the same goes for Android SDK home. Fine. So the paths are same for three of them. Fine. The another thing was that you must very well know that between any two directories, fine, you need a colon to separate the two directories. You can see over here. Fine. So what was given over here was something like this, which I actually installed it for Oracle Java. Fine, but right now I had to create two things. Fine, that is platform tools. This should be added as a platform variable. Control C, and then I pasted it over here, Control V, and the same thing for tools. Fine. See, platform tools are available in Android home, that is Android SDK where it's installed, platform tools and also tools. Fine, these two things should be added in path variable. Fine, so what I did was over here is the same thing, OPT Android SDK platform tools and colon, because platform tools is over. The second thing is OPT Android SDK and tools. Fine, so this is how I actually installed both the paths over here. Fine, then I saved the entire variable. After doing this thing, I would recommend it to either restart or log in and log out the log out and log in again to this panel to take the entire SDK working and environment variables set. But I would prefer it to you that if you haven't set virtualization option in BIOS, fine, then you can restart the entire PC and then go to BIOS and start virtualization option. And you might be thinking that why we need virtualization option to be turned on. That's because The problem is that when you start Android SDK, fine, AVD, virtual devices, fine, at that time it requires virtualization to be on from BIOS itself. If you haven't turned it on, then it will show it to you the Eclipse error. Eclipse will show you some errors, that it will say that virtualization has not been turned on or something like that. So from beginning itself we make it sure that prevention is better than whatever we say. So let's go ahead and create an icon. I just forgot to create an icon in my previous video, so let's create an icon for Eclipse. Fine, so here we go. What I'm going to do is take one empty gedit file. Fine, already I opened it for you people. Then after, I'm just going to copy and paste this thing. I'm just making it pretty bigger so that you can see it very nicely. You can pause it, either you can type it in the specific format, or I would like to say that you can go to Google and search for create an Eclipse icon for Ubuntu. You will get a lot of codes, fine, and then copy paste it. Unless after copy pasting it, you just need to make it sure the path over here, fine, these two paths are very much important. Where did I just got these two paths? I will let you know in just 2 minutes. Okay, so here we go. Computer OPT, here where we actually installed in our Eclipse in the previous video, Eclipse, fine, and you can see this file is important, fine. So we need to set the path for this file in executable format. So what I did was Control L, Control C and Control V till here. Okay, let me, okay, Control V, but this is the path of a folder. We need to set to Eclipse itself, fine. The thing terminal, it's false, fine, you can make it true, doesn't matter, fine. The second thing is this thing, its icon. What should be its icon? Fine. Once again, what actually we did was just Control V, and you can see over here icon xpm is already present over here in our directory itself, so it won't have any problem for displaying icon. You can also write something in comment, something like this, whatever you like it, fine. It depends on you again, fine. Or you can also write your company's name over here to mass forward it to somewhere else. No display equal to false, and whatever it's given, I don't mind it, fine. And the name of the name in English should be eclipse.desktop, even we don't mind for that things, fine. So now we need to save this thing to a specific location. Just a second. Okay, so now we are going to save this thing on some locations. That's pressing it Control S over here, fine. So it's showing me this window. Other location, then I'm going to computer, then user USR, and then share, and then application, fine. Here you will see all the icons are present in the form of a file, fine. These are the icons that actually you can get it from when you type over here. These are the icons, fine. The same icons are presented over here, fine. So we are going to save it with Eclipse. Let's see how we can save it. Just a second. Eclipse, fine, and then save it, fine. It says that it doesn't have any permissions for that. Okay, fine. Never mind, we write it sudo gedit, fine, and then enter. Copy these entire things, paste it over here, and now, okay, just a second. Okay, now we save it other locations. Once again I am going to repeat it. User share applications, fine, and then whatever name you want to give it, I'm going to give it eclipse.desktop. Fine, desktop extension is important over here to save it. Fine, let's save it. Okay, so now it's saved, and let's see if it has taken into effect or not. You can see it over here in some time. Okay, I might require login and log out for the same, doesn't matter. Fine, once you log in and log out, it will come to these things. Okay, now the second most thing, going to close this window without saving. Okay, so the fifth step that actually I'm going to show it to you is start our Eclipse. Fine, right now it has not taken effect. I'm going to double click over here and then start it. Fine, because for that I need to log in and log out. Fine, let's see. I'm going to save my workspace over here at the default location. Okay, it's gone. Just a second. Okay, it's in the screen. Fine, though you can see it over here that the entire Eclipse has loaded, but the problem is that you might be facing is this thing that you need to download the entire SDK from here. Whatever versions you support it, fine, you can download it, the API levels that you are required for your things. I'm going to show it to you what things I have actually downloaded. It is tools. Fine, these are the tools that actually I downloaded it. I didn't download a TV or an Android Wear, but instead of that in API 24 I downloaded these things. Fine, you can see it over here. The third most thing is that I also downloaded Android API of 16 and 15. Fine, to cut the time short, and download times takes a lot of time. Also I have installed all the extras except these two because they are not compatible with Linux, and actually Linux also doesn't require all these things to be downloaded in this moment. But you can see over here there is a problem. I don't know what the problem is. I think Android persons or SDK persons might be aware of these things, might be solving it. The problem is that after installing Android support repository, I'm not getting the option of Android support library over here. Fine, so what I did was tried a lot of Google search, fine, for installing Android support library. But you might be thinking that why install Android support library, but the thing is that when you are running Android support library, it will install all the skins, that is holo skins and everything like that, in style.xml file. Fine, for their dependencies, they are dependent on Android support libraries, and you might get an error that style.xml is not working in that context, and you might once again go circling and circling Google and then coming back over here and asking that how it's going to work. So let's see. What I did was did a lot of Google, and then I found one command, that is Android support library. Fine, as we have actually restarted our computer, we can now download now you can use Android command. Fine, because environment variables are now set. Fine, you can fire it any moment. So this is the command. Okay, let me clear the screen. Okay, Android update SDK no UI. Okay, no UI, and it was all, and then it was filter, and then extra Android support. Fine, this extra Android support will install Android support library by pressing it. Okay, just a second, might be some problem somewhere, just a second. Fine, I'll be pausing some for a minute and connecting it to my. Okay, there wasn't any error. Actually, I just forgot to just a second. Actually, I forgot minus all instead of all. Minus all, it should be minus all. Never mind. I pressing enter, it's giving me a lot of license agreements. As usual, I say yes for all the license agreements and starts preparing install. You can see now over here that it's getting downloading the entire things along with the revision versions that actually it's built on, and it says that approximately 50 to 1 minute of time it's going to take. So going to pause it for some time, coming back in a few minutes. Also, let it get installed. We do not waste our time. Let's see. One more thing, if you start AVD, that is Android Virtual Virtual Device, at that time it might show it to you GLX info error. How can you avoid this error? Is by installing this package in Ubuntu. Fine, let's go to terminal. Fine. Again, and then type it sudo apt-get install mesa utils. Fine, this util will diminish your error of glx info, and then press yes. You can see I have already actually installed it because I was doing a lot of research over here on how to install these things, so it might take some minutes to install it. It doesn't matter. Fine, so this will actually remove your error, that is glx info. Over here you can see that Android library has now been installed successfully over here. Fine, so style.xml error might now even go. Let's create some project. Testing application. Fine. Okay, let me show it to you how did I came over here. By clicking on over here, selecting Android application project. Fine, and now testing application. Fine, selecting it only one device because I have actually successfully installed an API of 16, and I'm not going to select this theme because I haven't downloaded the theme full versions of SDK, so it might create some problem. Okay, now over here clicking next and finish. Sorry. Okay, so over here you can see the my application has been built along with some of the Android manifest errors. Fine, these errors are not big problem, because the thing is over here that the entire thing has started building up in Android API 24. I just need to select it from over here. You can see activity main.xml. You will get such an icon. Drop down list, you can select it over here and select 16 because it's a lower version. Fine, so it will ask you to fix some errors and problems. Fine, it's not a big deal. The problem is over here also that it says that resources drawable IC launcher is not there. Obvious, it's not going to be there also because map has the advanced version of drawable class. Anyways, doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is copy this IC launcher and pasting it over here. Fine, so the error has been resolved, and it says that can't resolve this style widget hello and whatever. It will never resolve also because the problem is that I have started building the entire project in level 16, and whatever the project is over here is resolved in API level 19. So if I would have downloaded API level of 19, then this error would have came over here. Doesn't matter. Let's start with AVD. Fine, I have already created it, but never mind, I'm going to delete this one and create a new one. Testing Neeraj application. Fine, going for 3.2 to load it faster. API level 16 Intel Atom. You can pick up anyone that you like it. No skin, and then I'm going to click OK, start, launch. You can see over here it has started the entire project emulator to run without any errors, and it might be possible that it's not going to run in my application because a lot of problem is there in my RAM, and sometimes it's also happened that it doesn't even compile it very well. Very lesser RAM in my PC, doesn't matter, fine. Then also you can see over here, and then you can compile it over here and run as application. Okay, showing some errors, never mind. And browse and nearest application. Okay, so changing my device. Excuse me. I'll run it. It will start again the entire application. I'm going to close this thing. Sorry. So we need to wait for some time for it to get load, but before that I'm just going to revise the steps. First we are going to create some environment variables. In the environment variables something looks something like this. The step 2 is restarting your PC or log out log in your PC. The third step is turning on third step is turning on your virtualization if you haven't done it from BIOS itself. The fourth step is creating your icon, fine, after coming back from the entire things. I think this should be the third step and this should be the fourth step. Before logging or log out, this should be the second step actually, so that the entire icon also gets affected. And this should be the second step, this should be the third step, this should be the fourth step, and then yeah, I just forgot to introduce this fifth step. Let me remind you once again. What I did was, okay, I'm going to help menu, going to install a new software. Fine. I forgot to make you sure this fifth step. After coming back from after restarting your PC, you need to install ADT plugins also. I just forgot that thing. Fine. How you do it is, once again let me remind you, help, install a new software. You can click over here, add, fine, and then copy this thing, paste it over here, name it ADT plugins or whatever name you like it as per your requirement, fine. Click OK. You will see over here it says developer tools, select it, click on next. I actually downloaded the thing, so it won't allow me to click on next. After clicking on next, it will show it to you some error message that do you accept the agreements and everything like that. Just accept it and click on finish, and it will start downloading the entire Android ADT plugins. Fine, you can see it over here. I already done it at my desktop itself. Fine, so it's not a big deal. After doing that thing, okay, it's loaded. Fine, so here we go with Android Eclipse and the latest version of Neon. And thank you all for watching me and being patient. Thanks a lot. Keep watching and do subscribe my videos.